Hey, let's have a party! Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Netflix Nights number 10 for Office Christmas Party. And yeah, I looked goofy as hell right there, but anything to make me look kind of stupid, right? So, before we get into this, let's see what the good people over at Netflix have for a synopsis for us today, shall we? To prevent his tightly wound CEO sister from closing down his division, a corporate branch manager throws an epic Christmas bash in the hope of landing an important client, but the holiday quickly spins out of control. Rated R, and from 2016. And, you know, I like a good comedy. I do. I think comedies, though, are not easy to actually make. I think comedies actually have gotten kind of hard to make over the years because everyone's trying to outdo everything else. They're trying to go so crazy, so over the top, that some ways they just are losing the perspective of actually telling a good comedic story. They just are just trying to, we gotta go even more crazier than everything else. And unfortunately, this is where Office Christmas Party fails. Now, there is some good parts to Office Christmas Party. I think some of the jokes and a lot of stuff actually does land pretty decently. They're not terrible. But a lot of it is just really over the top for over the top sake. I almost feel like when The Hangover came out, The Hangover did it really well, and ever since then, everyone's trying to just go so over the top like what The Hangover did. But that first Hangover movie is very special, and I just don't see how you can really make something as special as that first Hangover movie without having to go so gross out, so crazy that you lose the characters, you lose the actual caring for people. Now, that's not to say that you don't care about all of these people, because I think some of the actors do a really good job. Been a big fan of Jason Bateman for a really long time back in Teen Wolf 2 days, which, hopefully I'll be able to pick up the Blu-ray that's coming out of Teen Wolf 2 in August. Hopefully I'm going to pick that up because I love me some Jason Bateman. Some cheesy 80s Jason Bateman is always good. But he's actually been a really solid actor for a long time. And I think the comedies that he does, even if some of the comedies are not that great, he ends up actually delivering. And you really do care about this guy who is just trying to get by. He's trying to get by. He just had a divorce. He's kind of having a rough time, but he's still a kind guy. People still care for him. And so you got to appreciate that. You got to appreciate that about the guy. I also sort of like TJ Miller in the movie. I think he goes over the top, and I think that's a problem. I like TJ Miller in very small roles where he can really shine a little bit more. Something like Deadpool. Perfect example. And he seems to really latch onto those roles pretty well. Here, he's good in small doses, but for a sort of more leading role that he has in this movie, I don't think he carries it. I don't think he carries it as well as Jason Bateman does. I think he still needs to learn that balance of not going too crazy, not going too over the top, sort of grounding it a little bit more in the character rather than just I'm TJ Miller going crazy. He needs to do that. I think he's going to learn it over time, but it's going to take him a little bit before he does it. Jennifer Aniston is decent in the movie. She plays TJ Miller's sister, who is the CEO of this company that basically she runs and TJ Miller is a part of. And, if you actually look back at Jennifer Aniston roles, she seems to play a lot of these sort of bitchy, uptight characters. And over the course of the movie, she starts to relax and everything else. She does that a lot. I mean, look at her roles. I'm not kidding you. She actually does a lot of them. And she's not terrible. She's okay in this movie. I think she kind of fits in it, but she's kind of a little too, hey, I'm Jennifer Aniston for the role. You don't feel like she's a character. You just feel like Jennifer Aniston coming into the movie and okay, here we go. The other female, and I'm forgetting her name now. She was recently in Ghostbusters, the blonde, and I forget her name now. It's escaping me. She's okay as this HR representative who's very uptight and sort of loosens up as the film goes on. She's actually pretty decent in it, but again, some of the jokes land, some of the jokes fall flat, and she's not exactly the greatest that she can be in this role. Again, she's overdoing it, and I felt she overdid it in Ghostbusters, and she's overdoing it here. At least with this movie, she's not the spotlight, so you can actually enjoy her performance a little bit, and you don't feel like she's overcrowding the movie. Now I have not seen Girls Night. I believe it's Girls Night, and I I don't know how good she is in that movie. I don't know, so I have to kind of when that comes out through Netflix, I gotta eventually watch that. But the one character, or the one, I should say, the one actress that I do not like and have not liked for a long time is Olivia Munn. Now, I may get a lot of flack for this, I may not, but I do not care for her as an actress. The only role I could ever stand her in was she made a small, brief cameo role in Iron Man 2. That's it. I can't stand her any other time. Whether it's this movie where she completely doesn't fit, or in X-Men Apocalypse, or her small role in Magic Mike. I mean, she's just a really not good actress. I don't know how she keeps getting these roles. I have no idea. She can't act to save her life. I don't think she can. And in this movie, she's completely miscast. She's supposed to play sort of the love interest to Jason Bateman and somebody who's this sort of IT, internet, tech whiz. I don't buy it for 1 second. She is so unbelievably sort of lackluster in this movie that even actors that aren't really trying in the movie outdo her by a mile. She just comes across as so just amateurish. And it really is a problem because I want to buy into this love story. I want to buy into her connection with Jason Bateman. I want to buy into her being this whiz of I'm cool and I'm hip and I'm smart and everything. She just doesn't pull it off, and she just takes me out of it every time she's on screen. It's terrible. I wish she would just quit acting. I really do. I didn't mind her years ago when she was on Attack of the Show. But even then, I thought that she was just playing the geeky chick for the sake of being geeky. I never bought into her even then, and I still don't buy into her now. And as far as the craziness goes, there's this whole crazy Christmas party that they have, which, of course, the name Office Christmas Party. And the Christmas party gets really crazy, really intense. I never really bought into the craziness of the party. I never did. This is a huge building, office, business building, and you're telling me that they're going to allow this, that no one is going to call the police, no one's going to do anything. There's just nothing here. There was a movie that came out, I believe, gonna say 2 years ago, called Project X. And they had a huge party in Project X. And I bought into that party. I bought into how crazy that party got. I bought into just all of the wild and just insane stuff that went on with that party, because people did call the cops. Things did happen in the movie that you felt that teens would do. These older people, I don't think they would have gotten into all this craziness. I mean, maybe they would have for a Christmas party, but for the length it goes, especially for an office building that size, something just, to me, felt off. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I want to go with it. I want to go with the craziness, but I just can't. And I think that's the problem. The problem is that it's trying to go extremely over the top. It's trying to go extremely just one up other movies. And it just can't do it. It just can't do it at all. So, again, I would go and look at movies like a Project X, like the first Hangover. Recent movie that sort of came out that I think actually did it a little bit better. Go back to the 80s, whether it's Back to School or Caddyshack, or even back in the 90s, movies like, PCU. Yeah, I mean, movies that actually I thought had really great characters and had wild and crazy moments, but never forgot about the moments with the characters, and never forgot about caring about the story. Office Christmas Party has its moments. And I think when you end the movie and the credits roll, you're gonna be like, okay, that was a decent hour and a half time waster. I chuckled a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything memorable. And I feel like now, with so many movies coming out, thousands of movies coming out every year, you have to stand out from the pack. And Office Christmas Party, unfortunately, misses the mark. It doesn't entirely miss the mark, but I think that it doesn't solidify itself as a must-see comedy. And that's the problem, especially nowadays when you gotta grab the audience and you gotta really do it, because audience attention spans are not as good as they were back in the day. I mean, let's be honest, they're not. So you gotta grab them and grab them fast. And Office Christmas Party, even though the premise is kind of cool, other movies have done it much better. So I would give it a low recommendation. Again, it's a time waster, and there's much better movies to see out there, but it's not... I don't feel that you will have wasted the time if you just watched it. I think you'll get some enjoyment out of it in the end. So that is my quick thoughts on Office Christmas Party. Hope you guys liked it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and comment to me below on if you enjoyed Office Christmas Party, or what comedies have you seen recently that you actually think are worth watching and giving a chance to. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and you're going to get a lot more content just like this. And also, I am on Twitter, FilmFan108. Alright guys, see you later. Have a good one. Bye.